The aroma of freshly brewed coffee filled the air, mixing with the soft hum of conversation and the occasional clatter of cups. Behind the counter, Sarah, a cheerful barista in her mid-20s, adjusted her apron and smiled at the customers. The little coffee shop, nestled in the heart of a bustling city, was her second home. Its warm wooden decor and shelves lined with jars of beans from around the world created a welcoming space for locals and tourists alike. "Hi there, I'm Sarah," she began, her voice carrying the warmth that matched her surroundings. "Every day I meet people from all walks of life here at the cafe, and you know what? It's amazing how much you can learn about someone just by talking over a cup of coffee." She leaned slightly forward as if sharing a secret. But what's even more amazing is how much you can learn about a language by listening to these conversations. Sarah gestured towards a small group of customers. One of them, a tourist clutching a map, appeared particularly out of place. "Take that gentleman over there," she said with a grin. "He just arrived in town and looks a little lost. Let's see how this story unfolds." Turning her attention back to the camera, Sarah continued, "In today's episode, you'll learn some simple English phrases by following a conversation between me and this tourist. It's a great way to practice asking for help and giving directions." She picked up a steaming cup of cappuccino and held it close to her face. "So grab your favorite drink, activate the subtitles, and repeat the phrases with me. Don't be shy. Let's make learning English fun and practical." As the camera panned back to the cafe scene, Sarah's voice softened. "Now, let's meet our visitor and see how we can help him." Ready, the stage was set and the story was about to begin. The cafe buzzed with activity as sunlight streamed through the large windows, casting a warm glow over the wooden tables. The soft murmur of conversations mixed with the occasional hiss of the espresso machine, creating a symphony of sounds that defined the morning rush. Sarah glanced around the room, her eyes falling once again on the tourist. He stood near the entrance, scanning the room with a map in hand, his expression a mixture of curiosity and slight confusion. His casual attire and backpack marked him as a traveler, someone eager to explore but uncertain where to start. "Good morning," Sarah called out as he approached the counter. "What can I get for you today?" The man hesitated, then smiled politely. "Hi, do you speak English?" "Yes, I do," Sarah replied warmly. "How can I help you?" Relief washed over his face. "Great, I'm new here, and I'm trying to figure out where to go. Can you recommend something?" Sarah leaned forward, her hands resting on the counter. "Of course. Are you looking for something outdoors, like a park or maybe a museum?" "A park sounds nice," he said, glancing at his map. "But I'm not sure where to find one." "No problem," Sarah said with a reassuring smile. "The city park is just a few blocks away. It's beautiful this time of year. Would you like me to show you on your map?" "Yes, please," he replied, handing it to her. As Sarah traced a route with her finger, she explained, "You'll walk straight down the street, then turn left at the library. The park entrance is just around the corner. It's about a 5-minute walk." "That sounds perfect," he said, nodding. "Thank you so much." "You're welcome," Sarah replied. "Enjoy your visit. Oh, and if you need coffee for the road, let me know." He chuckled. "I'll take a cappuccino to go then." As she prepared his drink, Sarah thought about how such small interactions could make a big difference for someone exploring a new place. Moments like these reminded her why she loved her job. The tourist left the cafe with a map in one hand and a warm cup of coffee in the other, ready to start his adventure. The morning rush had begun to taper off, leaving the cafe quieter but still lively. Sarah stepped out from behind the counter and took a moment to straighten up the condiment station. Just then, the door chimed softly as another customer walked in. To her surprise, it was Liam, the tourist she had helped earlier. "Hi again," he said, looking more relaxed this time. "I hope I'm not bothering you, but I'd like to ask for some more recommendations." Not at all, Sarah replied with a welcoming smile. Did you enjoy the park? It was great, Liam said enthusiastically. But I have some time this afternoon and thought I'd explore a bit more. Any ideas? Sarah considered for a moment. Well, there's a lovely museum nearby that's perfect for a quiet afternoon. They have some amazing exhibits on local history. Or if you're up for a bit more walking, the riverfront is beautiful and has some great spots to take photos. Liam's eyes lit up. The riverfront sounds amazing. How do I get there? It's not far, Sarah said, moving back to the counter and pulling out a fresh map. She circled the location and began explaining the route. You'll take the same street you were on before, but instead of turning left at the library, keep going straight until you see the bridge. Cross it, and the riverfront will be right there. Got it, Liam said, repeating the directions to himself. Walk straight past the library, cross the bridge. Easy enough. Sarah nodded approvingly. Exactly. And if you get hungry, there are a few food trucks along the way. Great for a quick bite. That sounds perfect, Liam said. Thank you again for your help. Anytime, Sarah replied. Have fun exploring, and don't forget to stop by again if you need anything. With a wave, Liam headed out once more, leaving Sarah feeling a sense of satisfaction. These brief connections, she thought, were what made her days at the cafe so fulfilling. The cafe was quieter now, and Sarah found herself replaying her interaction with Liam in her mind. She realized that explaining directions was a skill she had developed over time, especially since the cafe attracted so many travelers. As she wiped down the counter, she thought this would be a perfect time to share some tips on giving directions in English. Looking at the camera, she began, "Hi again. Let's take a quick moment to go over the phrases Liam and I used earlier to make sure you're comfortable giving directions in English." She picked up a small notebook and wrote the phrases, walk straight, turn left, and cross the bridge. Showing them to the camera, she added, "These are simple, but they're incredibly useful." Sarah paused, letting the audience repeat each phrase. Now, let's practice using these phrases in a sentence. For example, walk straight for 2 blocks, then turn left. Repeat after me. She enunciated each word clearly, giving viewers time to follow along. Great job. She said with a smile, "Here's another. Cross the bridge, and you'll see the park on your right. Try it." She explained further, remember, when giving directions, it's helpful to mention landmarks like the library or the bridge to make it easier for someone to find their way. Looking back at the camera, Sarah encouraged, if you're ever unsure, don't be afraid to ask questions. You can say, "Can you repeat that?" or "Is it far?" Practicing these phrases will make you more confident. She closed her notebook and leaned closer. Now, let's continue with the story and see where Liam's next adventure takes him. The day grew calmer as the late afternoon sun cast long shadows across the cafe's wooden floor. Sarah took a moment to sip her coffee, reflecting on the encounters she'd had that day. The thought of Liam exploring the city brought a smile to her face. She turned to the camera again, addressing her viewers. Let's take a moment to talk about why traveling is such a great way to practice English. When you're in a new place, every interaction becomes an opportunity to learn. Sarah paused thoughtfully. Think about it. Asking for directions, ordering food, or even saying hello to someone new, all of these moments help build your confidence. She gestured to a small globe sitting on the counter. Where would you like to go if you could travel anywhere? Write it in the comments below. And remember, learning a language isn't just about words. It's about connecting with people. Her expression grew encouraging. If you ever feel nervous about speaking English while traveling, remember, no one expects you to be perfect. Most people are happy to help if you just try. Setting her cup down, Sarah added, and now, let's get back to our story and see if Liam discovered something amazing at the riverfront. As evening settled over the city, Liam found himself standing on the edge of the riverfront, watching the water shimmer under the soft glow of the streetlights. The route Sarah had outlined had been easy to follow, and he felt a sense of accomplishment for navigating it on his own. The riverfront was alive with activity. Joggers passed by, couples strolled hand in hand, and a few artists displayed their paintings near the promenade. The aroma of food wafted from a nearby row of food trucks, and Liam's stomach reminded him that it was time to eat. Approaching one of the trucks, he scanned the menu and decided on a local specialty. The vendor, a cheerful man in his 40s, greeted him. "Good evening. What can I get for you?" Liam smiled, recalling the phrases he had learned earlier. "Hi, I'll have the grilled chicken sandwich, please." "Coming right up," the vendor replied, quickly preparing the meal. "Are you visiting?" "Yes, it's my first time here," Liam said, feeling more confident. "It's a beautiful city." The vendor nodded. "It is. Make sure to check out the fountain just down the path. It's lit up at night and looks amazing." "Thanks for the tip," Liam said as he received his sandwich. He found a quiet bench overlooking the river and sat down to eat, savoring the view and the food. As he watched the city lights reflect on the water, Liam thought about his day. From the friendly barista who had guided him to this spot, to the kind vendor who had shared a local secret, each interaction had made his trip memorable. He made a mental note to thank Sarah when he returned to the cafe the next morning. The next morning, the cafe was once again filled with the comforting aroma of freshly brewed coffee. Sarah was arranging pastries in the display case when she noticed Liam walking in, looking cheerful and relaxed. "Good morning," she greeted him with a bright smile. "How was the riverfront?" Liam's face lit up. "It was amazing. Thank you so much for the directions and the recommendation. I even found a great spot to eat and got to see the fountain you mentioned." "I'm so glad you enjoyed it," Sarah replied. "Did you take some photos?" "I did," Liam said, pulling out his phone to show her a picture of the fountain illuminated against the night sky. "This was definitely the highlight of my trip." Sarah admired the photo. "That's beautiful. I'm happy I could help make your visit special." Liam nodded, tucking his phone back into his pocket. "You did more than that. It's not just the places you recommended, it's how you made me feel welcome. That's what I'll remember most." Sarah felt a warm sense of accomplishment as she handed him his coffee. That's the magic of conversation. Safe travels, Liam, and don't forget, you're always welcome here. As Liam left the cafe, Sarah turned back to the camera, her smile as bright as ever. And that's the power of connecting through language and kindness. I hope today's episode inspired you to try new conversations and explore the world with confidence. See you next time, and don't forget to practice your English every day. With that, the episode came to a close, leaving viewers with a sense of encouragement and the tools to start their own adventures.